Happy Tuesday, everyone! Thank you for joining me here tonight. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make lovely and quirky hand embroidery kits. And I'm here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time, and it's a time where we can relax and craft together for about an hour here. And we typically work on projects from beginning to end, so you can be part of the whole entire process and ask your questions along the way, and so with us. So I am working on the Splendid Sampler 2 quilt along. You can check out more at thesplendidsampler.com. And we are working on the grandfather clock. So there we are. And last week we got finished with the paper piecing part of it, so there we are. There is our crazy intricate piecing. So be sure to check out the videos from before for this block in case you wanted to see how we did that paper piecing, and check it out. Perfect seam allowances everywhere. So you can just cut crazy blobs the whole time and then it still ends up perfect. So all right. I did make it back, you guys. So I got back this afternoon. I was at my parents' house this weekend, and if you saw the video, I did a little live video in the Penguin and Fish Crafters group here on Facebook, and I showed a little bit of outside in the middle of like the crazy snowstorm that they were having on Monday, all through Sunday and Monday. And they got 12.8 inches of snow in the city, and there had to be, oh man, almost 2 feet in some places there. It was crazy, but we went sledding. It was so much fun, you guys. And then luckily we have a little window today that we are able to drive home in before it gets to be like -50 here and there. So it's gonna be crazy tomorrow here. But I'm here. We made it though, you guys. So that's good. So all right, we are going to work on tonight on the applique pieces for this. So we have a pile of circle appliques. I thought we could try several different ways to do applique circles. So we'll try like the yo-yo technique. We'll try the tinfoil technique. We'll try the technique where we sew all the way around and turn it right side out. We'll do a whole pile of things. And I don't know how far we'll get on all that tonight, but we'll definitely prep these circles. We'll also prep the embroidery. So we have an embroidered clock face here. So that's that. Yes, Gina, I said -50. Right now, it is -30 degrees out here in Minneapolis. And that's without wind chill. So that's like straight temperature is -30 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's where we're at. So hoping everything goes all right tonight, that, you know, nothing breaks or whatever, because it will get cold fast. So getting the heat going and leaving that on, letting the faucet drip a little bit so pipes don't freeze. All those things. So I think we'll be fine though. So all right, guys, I'm going to flip you around. Let's get going here. Cold. Oh, I know, Gina, it's cold, but it was so beautiful at the same time. Like yesterday when we went outside for walks and stuff, and we went sledding, it was just beautiful, the snow and everything. And we were bundled up. I still have I have my long underwear on here because we drove with the long underwear on just to make sure we'd be okay. But yeah. All right, you guys, we're gonna make these circles now. So I'm going to start out by making some templates just with a postcard that I have here. And I think, you know, usually I cut these out and I trace them, but you know what? I think tonight I'm going to just put a dab of glue on all these and glue it to my, come on there. Glue it onto my postcard here. And then just cut out the template straight from here. Just thinking that might make it a little bit easier. So there's the one. Put a little dab of glue on this feller. Oh my gosh, that's so little, that one. So I just kind of took it easy this afternoon when I got home here. Your mom lives in northern Illinois and it's supposed to get to negative 51 tonight. Yup, that's we're in that boat as well. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on here on this guy because I'm actually going to want to try and get this template off after I cut it out so I can trace it as well. But at worst, I can just print out another one or photocopy another one. Okay, so there we go. Now I'm going to just cut out along the lines. I think this is going to go much faster than me cutting this out and tracing it and all that. Yeah, we're definitely in that negative 50s to 60s for the wind chill. So I think it's actually like I said, right now I think the phone was saying it was like negative 28. And that's without the wind chill. So with it, and it is kind of breezy out right now. So with the wind chill, that's where we're getting that negative 51 type deal here. And let me tell you, if you guys have not experienced negative like 20 and beyond, it is not the same as 0 degrees. It's not the same as negative 2 degrees. 10 degrees is not the same as negative 20. It's just not the same. So if you're cold at those other temperatures, it's a different feeling altogether when it gets negative that far down. It's just not, all cold is not equal. That's for sure. So I am trying to really cut this well because, not with bumps. I'm taking my time and going slow because this is going to be the actual edge that we wrap our fabric around. So if I have any weird bumps or spikes in here, that's going to show up on the fabric. Oh, Gina, you're in the 40s. That is literally 100 degrees. Or no, that's almost 80 degrees warmer than it is here. Like a literal 80 degrees warmer than us. So, how do you like that? Okay, that's one. I'm going to just kind of just separate these so I don't have as much stuff to cut out. Oh, I got to remember what each of these are for. This is the dial. So this is like smack dab center in the clock face. Ooh, you're supposed to be 51 in northern Texas. See, now you're 100 degrees warmer than we are. 100 degrees warmer than us. All right, I'm going to just snip all this to get out of the way. Ooh, negative. Yep, Bonnie, that's how we're going to be too. Not 60s, but yeah, we're supposed to be, negative whatever for the next, several days. And then we're supposed to be like, maybe 40s or something. All right. Get rid of those scrappies. All right, let's do this pendulum. And then we'll do that clock face. Oh, I'm just using like a normal, just a paper scissors here. I like using big scissors for things like this. Moving the paper, not the scissors. That was that aha moment that I remember from kindergarten. Move the paper, not the scissors when you cut. Debbie, hi tomorrow of 9. Well, you're about 40 degrees warmer than we are right now. 9 is a totally different world than negative 30. Just saying. It is a different kind of cold. It actually is hard to breathe at negative, negative 30 to 50. It kind of, you go outside and it actually sucks the air out of your body a little bit. You have to be careful. Oop. There we are. Okay, this is already so much easier cutting these out by just gluing it directly to our papers here. My postcard. Jennifer, you drove home today, or Jenna, you drove home and it was negative 19. Oh, yep. So when we drove home, man, you got home later than us, because when we got home, it was still, I think it was negative 8 or so. So we got home, I don't know, around 3-ish maybe. But yeah. God, I stepped out and it was windy, that was for sure. Yeah, and then it steadily got colder and colder after that. John still went out to go get dinner. So he went to Chipotle and got us dinner, and he said it was packed there. Ugh, yep, burr. All right, our last little slow cutting here. So this one I'm going to try and take, I know I just glued it down to help me cut it out, but I'm going to try and see if I can take the template off just so I can trace these numbers for the embroidery. Okay. There we go. All right, there are our circles. I'm going to attempt to pull this off of here. Let's see. I'm going to grab, oh, good, I got it. My stiletto, see if I can shimmy this off. Oh, yeah, good. All right. Oop, one more little bit there. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to just keep this so I can trace it. I can't trace it with, look at the kitties. I can't trace it with the postcard here. So, because you can't. No light's going to get through there. So I have, I'm saving this. Actually, and let's do that first. So we are going to start out with tracing that guy, and because I already know that I want that to be on the white. It sounds like some of you might be having some issues with sound here today, some tech issues. From my end, it seems to be going okay. All right. Let's see, water-soluble marker. Oh, there we go. So here's my water-soluble marker here. I'm gonna just I'm gonna give myself some leeway so I can maybe I'll even put this in the embroidery hoop, because I have a little embroidery hoop here that might be perfect for stitching this. So I'm gonna leave enough space for that. So we're gonna go right here. Sometimes it's just way easier with an embroidery hoop. So I have my water-soluble marking pen here. And I'm going to just try and trace through this. So I'm lining up that circle. Yeah, this will be fine. Wow, these numbers are really kind of small though. Might have to peek here. Okay, I'm just gonna put a dot in the middle there. And sometimes this pen bleeds a little, and I don't really like that. I could maybe do this with a pencil. Sometimes I do like tracing my designs with pencil just because this bleeds a little. Especially if I'm gonna just stitch over the lines and nothing is gonna be showing, but you know, I don't know. All right. I'm already in it now, so I might as well keep going. I think I'll be able to read these. These are so little, so these will be tiny little embroideries. I think we moved a hair here. Okay. And I was gonna set this clock for 8:30 because that is when we all come on here. So 8:30 Central Time is when we start these Facebook Lives. So I thought it'd be kind of funny to set the clock for 8:30 here. So let's just finish our numbers, our Roman numerals. All right. I think that looks pretty good. All right, so now let's, I kind of want to use the same lengths of the ruler here. So let's go 8:30. Let's start with the 30. So I'm going to go straight down. All right, I think that looks good. Oh, Jenna, I do like the friction or the friction. I never know how to pronounce those. Pronounce it. I do like it. There's a couple things that I'm not super happy though with the friction pens. I know they're super popular, and they really are amazing. You can draw really great lines, and they just disappear with the heat. But sometimes if like you go outside your line, sometimes even with the heat, when it goes away, you can sometimes see like the ink has filled in the like weave. So like up close, you can sometimes see it. And there's kind of a debate on whether it's like archival, like it will it sometime hurt your fabric or not. I don't know. I haven't seen any real evidence of that. But I have tried sketching with it because I thought it was really neat, like sketching a design and then stitching and then getting rid of it. But when I did that, I could see all the extra lines. So they are for drawing lines out like this. Ugh, there really is nothing much better than those friction pens for nice clean lines. But yeah, I just get nervous, a little nervous about if they're coming out for sure. All right, so I'm going 8:30, so that means it's kind of in the middle of the two. Yeah, and if it gets cold, it can come back, but you know, it goes away again if you just heat it up a little bit or throw it in the dryer. But I think it comes out, like I've heard that it comes out in the wash after a little bit too. I don't know. I should do like a real big experiment with the friction pens someday because I'm just going by what other people have said and my experience with it, like filling in the weave. But it would be good. I would love to try it, like try doing a design and washing it a bunch of times and then getting it really cold and seeing if it still comes back. I could probably do that. You know what? Maybe I'll just try that this weekend or something, or over the week, because I got to do laundry from being gone and it's cold, super duper cold, that if it, oh gosh, I glued this down. If it comes back, you know, it's not going to get colder anywhere than it is going to be outside during this time. So now would be the time to kind of test the cold, I suppose. All right, I'm just cutting out like just, you know, a jaggedy whatever piece. So this is going to be what we embroider later. So I just have my little baby hoop here. I think this is a 4-inch hoop. And, you know, you don't need to actually stitch it with an embroidery hoop, but I realized, ooh, I have enough white that I could do that with. So we will do that another time. I am still going to keep the template because when we're done with this, we still need to make this into a circle applique. So we'll stitch it all first. And then we'll use one of these techniques to turn it into a circle applique. Okay, so here we are. I'm going to save that. We really actually don't need this anymore, but I will use it for reference just in case, I don't know, my lines get a little sloppy and I need to retrace something, so I'll save that. But then what do we got? Ooh, did I lose one? I did. Where did that little tiny baby circle go? Oh, this is going to be the problem. Oh, here we are. Jeez. Ugh, I'm going to have to save him somewhere. I haven't cleaned up my space here yet from all the paper piecing, so I just got stuff everywhere. But all right, we can start. Well, first of all, we need to pick some colors, don't we? So let's start with what this outer piece is going to be, and then we can work our way from there. So we already know that the clock face is white. So we need something to contrast this background here and to contrast this white. So something kind of in the middle without being too bright as well. I mean, we do want this to stand off too. I wonder if maybe even this dark color that we've been using. Or what else? What do we got? We have this. This is cute still. We use this for that little bit down there. This might be fun. A little bright, a little standout-ish. It'll really make the clock face pop. Okay, I like it. We're going with it. That's quick. I really like this one, actually. So, all right. Here is our rim, or our clock face rim here. I think for this one, let's try the tinfoil technique. Oh wait, no, you know what? For this one I was gonna do the fusible technique. So let's try that. So I have this fusible here. Oh, Irene, that's a good idea. I'm gonna do that right now. Irene is suggesting to clip all these circles together, and I think that is exactly what I'm gonna do. Because this is a disaster waiting to happen. There we go. Now they're all together. I'll actually probably clip this to it as well in a bit. But all right, so here is the first way we are going to do the applique. So I'm using this Pellon fusible shear weight. This is a fusible interfacing that has the stickies, like the sticky dots on one side. So on this side, you can see all those sticky dots. Those are the fusible dots. And on this side, it's nothing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually sew this to my fabric here, right sides together, and actually the dotted glue side against the right side of the fabric. And we're going to sew the full circle shape, and then I'm going to turn it right side out. It's kind of a neat technique. The only problem with my particular stuff here is that my glue dot fabric here is super duper old, so I'm not actually sure it'll fuse. But regardless, I can just pin it down and sew it down. It doesn't need to be fused, but it is kind of an extra bonus that is fusible. So some people have used a used dryer sheet for this, and I was going to give that a try, but I don't have any used dryer sheets, so we're going to stick with the fusible shear weight. So here again is what we're doing here. I did have a link in here as well. So all right, what we are going to do here is I am going to, on the part of this that's flat. So there's the side that has all the little dots, and then this side is flat. So on that, I'm going to actually just trace. I could just use a marker for this, but I'm going to just use my pen. I think I'll be able to see it. I'm going to trace around this. Ooh, am I going to be able to see that? Nah, let's use a marker. Okay. I got this Sharpie nearby. I think let's, all right, I have some tin foil here. I don't want my Sharpie to go through, so let's just throw the tin foil down. We're gonna use this tin foil later, but for now I need just something so my Sharpie doesn't go crazy on me. And actually, maybe I don't want the Sharpie. Maybe I don't want these dark lines here. This might be a bad idea, you guys. Actually, yeah, you know what? I don't think I want the black Sharpie there, because that might be, we might be able to see that in our seam allowance. So I'm gonna get just another piece of paper here, or another fusible. We'll do it with the pencil, or, you know, let's do it with the water-soluble marker. That'll do the job. Okay, the flat side down. I just need enough for like a seam allowance, so this is probably plenty. Make sure I have the, yep. I think I'll be able to see this when we're done. This is where a friction pen would really work well. Okay. All right, I can see that. There's our line there. All right, good. All right, let's trim that out. I'm gonna just leave it, you know, not perfect. Okay, so up next, I am going to sew this onto the right side of the fabric. So I'm putting the dotted side, the glue dot side, against the right side of the fabric. I wonder if I can fit this into a little nook. How about right here? Actually, I might just throw a pin in the middle of that. Okay, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sew exactly on my line all the way around. I'm not going to leave a hole or anything to turn it right side out. I am just going to sew all the way around. And you know what? I kind of like this method because I like, oops, sorry you guys, I'm just wiggling a whole lot here. I like this method because I can just sew it quickly versus having to do all the starch and all that other stuff that we'll do in a bit here. I can just sew. All right, again, right on that blue line. I'm going to put a little back tack in here. So I'm going to lift up and to help me turn a little bit here. So I want to sew right on that line, and I want to be as accurate as I can. I mean, we can adjust. I'm going to probably sew all these on by hand, all these appliqué circles. So any little mistakes, like any little bumps I make here, I can adjust a little bit as we hand sew. Ooh, concentrating on this blue line here. I could have probably used a couple more pins, but oh well. My mom's really good at doing a pivot, so she'll just put a pin right here and let it all go around. Let the circle just happen. I haven't done that before though. A little scared too. Ooh, almost there. So again, we're not leaving a space for it. We are going all the way around. All right. And I'm gonna put a little back tack there again. And that's that. So we've gone all the way around. Sewn all the way around here. I don't need that pin in there anymore. I'm gonna remove that. And what I'm gonna do now is I am going to cut around that circle, but I'm gonna actually do it with a pinking shears. So, you know when you have to do, it looks like the dots are up, but they're actually not. So the dots are on the other side. They're facing, my glue dots are facing the fabric here. It doesn't look like it, but it's just because it's a really sheer fabric. But the glue dots are down right now. All right, but I'm gonna cut this out with a pinking shears because usually when you cut rounded shapes, you have to clip them so that it reduces the bulk in the seam allowance. Well, this kind of does that for me. I'm cutting all these little notches out with the pinking shears. So I'm cutting so that it goes kind of almost right up to the seam allowance. Not quite, but almost there. It's going to look like a little sunshine. And I'm going slowly just so I don't accidentally clip fabric in a wrong spot or cut too far in. I don't want to cut into my seam allowance. I just want to be close. Okay, almost there. Okay, there we are. So next up, you know, how are you going to turn this right side out, right? Well, first of all, let's clip these little threadies that are in my way here. All right, so I'm going to separate now the fabric from the fusible. There we go. So just getting it a little bit out of the way. And I'm going to clip a hole right in the center of this fusible web. So right like that. I don't want to hit my fabric. There we go. I'm going to just make a little hole here. Probably a little bit bigger than this. You can actually just tear this as well. There we go. So we need enough of a hole that we can turn this right side out. But here we go. Now we can flip this whole thing through that hole. Just like if you're making a stuffed animal or something and you have to turn it right side out when you're done. We got lots of fuzzles everywhere. We'll have to trim those. All right. You can see it's starting to happen. All right, I'm just going to take this little pencil. We're going to push out those edges. Get a nice sharp circle here. Got some fuzzles to trim. And there we are. So that is our circle. So now, I don't know why these are here. Some guys got out of the way. They're bothering me. Got to get rid of them. Okay, so but now our fabric is right side out and our glue dots are all exposed here as well. So now all I should have to do in theory is once I place this on here, I should just have to fuse it down. So yeah, it's magically like a perfect circle here. So I can just fuse that down with the iron, and then I'll still stitch the edge down. So you'll be able to kind of see the edge like this. But once you hand stitch it down, then you'll be pulling the top around the fusible, so you actually won't see the fusible anymore. And it's different than raw edge applique because it's not attached, like the back of this isn't attached to the fusible, so it's still gonna float on the top. Just, you know, because just how nice needle turn applique looks, where it all just the fabric kind of is separated from the background. It's just kind of floaty. So yeah, so that's that. It's kind of like a magic little way to do circles. So that's circle number 1, you guys. We're gonna do a couple other circle techniques here, but I think we may call it a little bit early night tonight. Well, let's see. I still have tinfoil out here. I want to do the tinfoil technique for this one, so we'll come back to that. Yeah, you know what? I think tomorrow, why don't we stitch this up? And I think we might be able to do the tinfoil technique right away for it. So I think I want to just, I think we'll just hold off tonight. Start this fresh tomorrow. Oh, did I do this right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, good. Freaking me out. All right. But I think this yellow is going to look just right. It's just going to pop against here. We do need a pendulum here. So for the pendulum, I thought I'd do the little yo-yo technique. I could show you guys that yet. Let's do that. We have some time tonight yet. Let's do that. So we won't do the tinfoil technique tonight, but we'll try this yo-yo. So in theory, I could do it the same yellow, but I don't know. Should we try something else here? We have this as white. You know, the pendulum might be nice white as well. But you know what? I think we're gonna stick with this color here. You know, I'm just trying to be a little consistent with, like, it would have been fun to have them be different colors, but at the same time, I'm gonna have to untuck this again. At the same time, maybe having it the same color will help it all kind of come together. So, all right, we're gonna do the same color. Okay, so, oh, good, look at this. This is a perfect nook here. Okay, so I'm gonna try the yo-yo technique for this. And I'm gonna start that out by putting just a little, well, let's see, how should we do this? I think I'm going to first trace this onto the back with a pencil. Just generally. Doesn't have to be perfect. But there we are. So that's our little pendulum here. I'm going to trim around that. I'm going to leave a little bit more than a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And this doesn't have to be perfect either. Okay, so next up, I am going to get, I'm going to use some of my thread here from the machine. Actually, I have this bobbin here with stuff on, and instead of taking it off of my machine, I'm going to just use the bobbin. So I'm going to get enough thread to go all the way around this circle, plus a little extra. So let's do about here, and we can always trim it down too. So, you know, better to go a little longer. Okay. Piece of thread. Now let's get Let's get Zeb out here. Zeb is the holder of the needles. Let's get one of my little straw needles here. Okay, so I'm going to thread one side of this. There we go. And I'm not going to tie a knot. But what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to just go in and out. I'm actually going to start on the back side. And towards that top edge of the seam allowance, I'm going to just do a running stitch. So I'm going to leave a long tail like this. And we're just going to go in and out and in and out over and over again here. So when it gets difficult to turn the angle of the circle, I'm just going to pull, and then we're going to do a few more. So this is the yo-yo technique. We're going to make almost a little yo-yo here. So just little stitches around the edge. You could totally just use that same technique though, that with the fusible, you could do that with this small circle too, and that would work totally easy. I just thought we'd try a few different ways of doing circles, because there's just like oodles of ways, and you might just find a favorite, because I'm sure there's a lot that won't be your favorite. That's for sure. Sometimes a project or something you have to do, like make a whole pile of circle appliques, sometimes it's just the worst until you find like that one technique that just works amazing for you and that you love, and then all of a sudden it like becomes your favorite thing to do. Like I really do love this way, because your circles really do come out perfect, and you can just fuse it down. It's kind of cool. Did I just lose my, oh no, I didn't. Thought I lost that tiny circle again, but it's still clipped to the other circles. I'm gonna get my iron going as well here. Almost around. Oh, you used a small button for this one. Oh, for the smallest one. That's a good idea. That'd be really cute. Put a little button on here. Maybe I'll do that. That might be more fun than doing another applique. I don't know. All right. I think this is our last one. I'm gonna, oh wait, how far over does this go? Ugh, let's just pull this through. Oh, I can get like a couple more stitches in here, or one stitch. All right, I'm gonna come out the right side of the fabric here. And I'm gonna take the needle off, and so we have these two tails here that are next to each other. Just putting my needle back. All right, so two ends coming out of the front of that circle there. Now I am going to set my my template piece. I'm going to set that back in the middle here. I kind of have these pencil marks here. You didn't really need to do that, but I find it just easier than I knew where to cut everything. So I'm going to hold that down there with my finger here. And I'm going to grab these two threads, grab both of them. I'm going to kind of just wrap it around my finger. And you're going to pull on them, and that will suck in all this fabric, and it'll wrap it around this piece. So here we go. A totally mega perfect circle there. That is like clean. So what we're going to do now, though, is I'm going to put some starch on these edges and press it. So let's head over there quick. Head over to the my little pressing area here that's getting all full of scissors, it looks like. Scissors and templates. Okay, so I have a little tray here, and I just have a little, I think I've used this a few times, a little cotton swab. I'm gonna grab my, my Best Press starch, and let's see, is this on? No, there we go. I'm gonna put just a hair in my little tray. Okay. And I'm going to pull this tight again. And we're gonna dab some of this starch around. Just kind of the edge, like where it's on the edge of my template. And actually, before I let go and go all the way around, I'm going to get my iron and set it on those starched areas. There we are. All right, so let's rotate it around. And I'm going to still have it pulled tight. And let's just put some starch on this side too. And really, just the iron would probably do the job for us to get these nice sharp edges, but I find that the starch just finishes the job. Ooh, there's that sizzle. All right, I think that's probably good there. Ooh, there we go. Are we still looking good? Yeah, that's still a great, great looking circle. So, all right, I'm going to head back over here. I can now pop out this circle. So I'm going to just, maybe I'll use that to pop it out, but I think I could just open this now. It's going to go back to where I want it to just because we've starched it. Oh yeah, I don't need the pen to pop it out. I can just pull this out. There we are, and I will just tighten this up a little bit again. It should want to go back to where it was, that nice circle, because we've starched it, but I got to grab both at once here. There we go. There. It is a happy little circle again. So there we are. I'm going to leave these strands here and keep the template just in case something happens to this and I need to pull it around the template piece again. But in general, I'm thinking it's looking pretty good. So, woo, there's the pendulum piece. Here's this top piece. I'm gonna wait to press this down until later. Just, I don't know, just because it makes me nervous to do it right now. I want to have all my shapes done before then. And then here is what that white is gonna look like on top of this, which I think it'll be really pretty here. Oh, you know what? We could just go like this. This is what it's gonna look like, white. Ooh, and here's our little shape here. So, all right, 2 circles, you guys. There we are. I think that's gonna look really pretty with this matching the pendulum color. I think it's gonna really make this jump, this center area. Cute, cute. So tomorrow, man, yeah, you know what? I don't know what I want to do with this little center guy. I think it might actually be really cute as a button. I don't know. Yeah, maybe I will do him as a button. So this is basically a little extra cuteness to go in the center, but I do like that idea of a tiny, tiny button. So I'm going to see what I have. I think I might have some colorful, pretty little buttons. I'll check that out. So tomorrow we will stitch this guy up. We will embroider him, and I think we'll have enough time to embroider him, and we'll do the tin foil technique with him. So there's another way. It's kind of like the yo-yo technique. What we're going to basically do is wrap. We're going to take our template, put it on the back of our piece after we're done embroidering it, and then we're going to wrap the whole thing in tin foil, which sounds crazy, but we'll wrap it in tin foil, and we'll iron the edges in a very similar way that we did this guy here. Oh, button before or after quilting? That's a good question. I'm not sure, Barbara. I think we'd probably be fine putting it on as long as we keep an eye on it, especially since we're doing quilt as you go. So it'll always be visible, and once we're done with that section, we're done. So I don't think it's going to be that big of a problem if I put it on beforehand. We just won't be able to get like right next to it with the quilting, but I think that's fine. So I know typically a lot of people like to put all their little extra like doodads on after. Because if you're going to be sending it to a quilter who has one of those large machines, I don't think they like all that extra stuff because they have to roll up the quilt to put it on that machine, and that might make it like bumpy or weird or something. But I think in our case, since we're doing quilt as you go and just those little squares, I don't think it's going to be a problem putting a button on beforehand, as long as I'm aware of it and I quilt around it. So I think we might just get it on to be done. So we'll see. But anyway, you guys, tomorrow, embroidery plus the tinfoil technique. And yeah, then we'll start attaching these the rest of the week. I'm excited. All right, you guys, I'm going to flip you around and we will call it an evening here. All right, so we got a little bit more done today, so I'm happy about that. Got to do the little yo-yo technique. So here's what it's looking like. There we are. Oh wow, that really is bright. Let me put the cut it down a little bit because we're gonna have that white fabric on top. This is just the border. Oh, there. That is so sweet. Okay, I love that yellow. It just it stands out against the background, and it makes it'll make the face of this pop too. Oh, I like it. Yay! Okay. Woohoo! I'm very excited about this block. It's coming together. One of those crazy blocks that just looks just so overwhelming, but you know, we're taking it step by step and getting it done. So awesome, you guys. Again, embroidery and the tinfoil technique tomorrow evening, and that'll be at 8:30 p.m. Central Time again here on the Penguin and Fish page. And if you guys had trouble with the sound or anything tonight, I will have the replay of this up on YouTube, and you should be able to hear everything and see all the comments and stuff pop through there. So that's at Penguin and Fish Movies on YouTube. So thanks again, you guys. Stay warm or stay cool if you're overseas, and I will see you tomorrow. Good night.